But welcome all. I have a couple of new products to talk with you about, as well as some existing products, and a little story about why we're TD Synnex. So say hello to TD Synnex. For those of you who don't know, back in early September, Synnex and Tech Data officially merged. The original merger was announced last February, and I can tell you that while we're all one company now, we're a bunch of teams working really hard to try to make two different systems work together. And I got to tell you that I basically this morning closed my first tech data product, and took the purchase order, and it's actually going to ship. So that I think that's a minor success. So the product lines are coming together. It's taken a little time. We're all meeting new teammates and all that. The important thing is that if we have something that you want that Synnex didn't have, that Tech Data does, that we get that to you and we make it as painless for you as possible. Just because that's part of the equation. So there's some product opportunities coming when we get this a little bit more streamlined. One of the things that you're going to find, Synnex is going to carry the Apple line of products. So we'll have everything from the iPhones to iPads to MacBooks, that type of thing. So that's going to be pretty exciting because that's something that a lot of people have asked us about over the years, and we really weren't able to offer that. Secondly, for those of you who have an interest or any kind of touch with Autodesk, we'll have AutoCAD products, and that would also include their BIM 360 products, which is just kind of personal to me because what I do is I basically work with the groups like Ed and some of the other groups like RSA, for example. But I also handle the job site tech component for Synnex. So that is any kind of job site technology that's used in the AEC space is under my bailiwick. So when we talk about that, when I talk about being excited about Autodesk, it's from that perspective more so than the overall print perspective. Lastly, one of the product areas that is I was surprised that came with such velocity. I have no other way to explain that to us is document imaging, and that Tech Data was one of the few distributors that carried the Fujitsu product, the Fujitsu line of document imaging scanners. So we're talking about A4 style low and high speed production scanners, as well as the Kodak scanners, which are all high speed production scanners. And apparently there's a good marketplace there, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. Lastly, with the combination of the two companies, we become a $57 billion company. I can't even believe I work for a company that big. I've always been working for folks that they're just 2 or 3 people, and we're working our butts off just to help y'all. But to say it safely, got technology coming out of our ears, and if there's anything you have a question about, I believe that if I can't help you, I can find somebody that can. So let's jump into the document imaging products. And these are the lines that we picked up through the Tech Data merger. Fujitsu is obviously the most popular line, considered by many of most document imaging specialists to be the cream of the crop in terms of the best scanner available out there. Fujitsu is an aggressive company in selling that scanner, in the sense that when they sense a reseller opportunity, they support the heck out of you. They have a program that's benefit laden to your company in terms of gift cards and incentives that want to if you see this marketplace as a place you want to work in, they're very friendly in that area. But that's not to say the others aren't. Kodak Alaris is uh, pretty much a production scanner. We're talking about in the somewhere in the 15,000 and up scanning capability. The ones that seem like they do 1,500 pages a minute. They don't really do that, but it seems like they do, as well as duplex scanning and OCR and ICR, and anything that would be out there for your backfile conversions. They're perfect for that type of thing. Naturally, we carry Canon as well, and Canon is a full line dealer or a full line manufacturer of document scanners, as well as Epson, Brother, Amber Technology, and Visioneer. Visioneer, I believe, at one time was owned somewhere along the line by Xerox. I don't know if they still are. We're learning some more and more about these products, but the document imaging and management world uh, is is a growing. It continues to be a growing business. Let's talk a little bit about that. So there's target markets, right? Anybody that's running printers, copiers, or MFPs, is probably a prospect, for document imaging, because what you're really trying to do is capture the paper and digitize the paper in that sense. When I was first introduced to the tech data folks that handled this, um, I was going to a city and they said, well, I said, what can I help you in that city anywhere? Do you want me to call on anybody? And they said, well, do you know Dobbs Tire? And I had no idea who Dobbs Tire was, but and I didn't really suspect that there would be a document imaging um, application found in a tire store. Well, Dobbs Tire is like any other tire store you have in different areas. This one just happens to be in St. Louis, and what they do is when you buy your tires, you get an invoice, and the corresponding paper invoice that is produced by the store goes immediately in a scanner. So Dobbs Tire has like 25 stores, from what I understand. So that was 25 reasonably decently priced scanners. So it was a great opportunity for some reseller when they sold Dobbs Tire the whole concept of document imaging. But that's just one area. Healthcare, government, education. We know so much is going on in that place, in those spaces, especially healthcare, where when was the last time you went to the doctor and he came in holding a tablet in his hand? And not one did you write on him with a paper or a ballpoint pen, but an electronic tablet. All your records are being converted over. They're going through the proverbial digital transformation um, from paper to digital records. For easy access through databases. Government and education are also interesting markets. When I talk about government in this sense, I'm really referring to municipal governments because there is where most of the uh, focus has been in trying to bring document imaging and capturing paper and saving space. To be honest with you, one of the interesting things I just heard about a reseller who had an opportunity in a municipality. It is turning into a rather large service opportunity for this reseller, and as a result, they'll have to gear up in order to actually complete this. But the interesting thing that I heard from them is that this money that the government or the municipality was spending was COVID money earmarked from the federal government that they were able to use for only certain things. And document management, document imaging was one of those things. So an easy way to fund a project that way. And obviously, don't forget some of the other areas: manufacturing, legal. My wife prints up just a hurricane full of paper every day. She's a paralegal, and I become the de facto IT since we're all working from home, right? And it's not unusual to hear, "Hey, I got all these prints I have to do, and my printer's not working." So it's a good thing she's married to somebody that's actually in the print industry. So I help that, and every one of those prints ends up getting scanned, not filed in a paper file. So financial services, banking, those type of areas been going on for a long time. I mean, when was the last time you actually received checks back in the mail with your bank statement? Everything now is an image. What's really good about this particular segment is all of the manufacturers provide really um, effective sales tools, the case studies, the kind of things that, that help you, PowerPoints, success stories, those kind of things. The support from the manufacturer in this realm is very strong. And while you're scanning, maybe on an office level, or maybe even a regional level, those enterprise-wide and digital transformation, those folks that talk about that and talk about that kind of focus, disaster recovery. What are you doing with your forms processing? How are we going to experiment with changing the workflow to capture data, or set up an audit trail necessarily for what's going through our particular organization. Um, Scanners can be added to practically any environment, whether it's small format or as in the presentation before me in the wide format world. So lots of things and stuff. That's a things and stuff is stuff and things. I mean, it's a very healthy area, and I was kind of surprised. I thought that it had declined, but it has not. Tech data will tell you that there are multi-million-dollars worth of scanners sold every year. So it's something that if you have an interest, I'll have my contact info on the last slide. Please call me. Let's talk about it. Or if you run across it, give me a holler. Happy to help. So let's switch gears and go to another product. Whoop, went the wrong way. There we go. So coming soon. So many of you, in the organization have, you heard me talk about 3D scanning. I know Ed sponsored another 3D scanning webinar not terribly long ago. We've had a panel discussion about 3D scanning. Well, we've been doing 3D scanning now for 4 or 5 years, and primarily it's with the Leica line. But there's a high cost to getting into that particular line, and you have to be very specific. And you really, in order to be successful, you really have to make an investment, not just in equipment, but in people and knowledge. Well, along comes Matterport. And Matterport does the same thing as a laser scanner, except it might only be 85% of what the laser scanner actually does. If a laser scanner is, measured in how many millimeters, it is accurate, the Matterport product, which is basically a camera, is measured in centimeters. So, what we're finding is that, with a lower cost of entry into a product like this, people like yourselves who have contacts in architectural, engineering, and construction firms can more easily take this technology to your customers and leverage that relationship than they can a laser scanner, because this will do about 85% of everything that laser scanner is going to do, unless of course you need that pinpoint accuracy. So if you're just looking to capture the as-built conditions, you want to set up photos and set up hyperlinks, back to specifications or drawings that correspond to what's behind the walls or underneath the concrete. You can do the same thing with this device. And at $27.95 retail, it's very affordable. So the other neat thing about it is that you'll be able to do virtual walkthroughs. And you may have heard of Matterport through the real estate industry. If you've ever looked at a home in another city and you've gone through the 3D walkthrough, you've probably gone through a Matterport setup. And in that case, what Matterport does is they take the work out of the registration process that's normally a result of in laser scanning. They do that for you, and the data then lives in the cloud. I mean, you can always download it, but it gives you easy access to the data, so that when you need to show it to somebody or share it with somebody, it's done. It's done very easily through a link to the cloud. So that's one of the things that makes it even more special, because that expertise, once again, where you'd have to hire somebody that sits there and does all the registration and make sure that every image is lined up properly, and that to survey standards. um, that's something you don't have to do. Basically, you sell the camera, you sell the subscription to the SaaS software, and the best part is, the subscription is commissionable. So the cloud-based project storage, you can make money on that while you're not doing anything. And that's one of the beautiful aspects of this particular product. Let's talk about it a little bit more. So we talked about 3D walkthroughs that you see through in the real estate area. There are options, or not options. There are accessories that you can add to the Matterport camera. Um, you can create. It's just a software package that helps you create floor plans. I know one reprographics shop that recently, if he paid almost $500 to have a floor plan produced. It was produced by a guy with a Matterport camera, and that floor plan option cost that guy only 12. Cost the guy that produced it $12, but the guy that wanted the floor plan paid 500. So that was really interesting. He was a little sore when he learned about that. Naturally, you can do high resolution photos, so that if you wanted to, make sure that what people do is they take photos of a construction project as it's going, to identify where the electrical lines are, or identify where plumbing or the boxes are, so that and so that if anything ever happens, you don't play whack-a-mole going through the walls. So the photos are helpful. We talk a little bit more about that in matter tags. Virtual staging is also another area. Now, while we're focused mostly on AEC, there are options for this virtual staging. And if you go to the Matterport website, you'll see Starbucks coffee shops that have, that are basically selling, through their e-commerce site, based on images taken within just a regular old Starbucks. Cost Plus World Market, if you have that store around anywhere in your vicinity, they've worked with Matterport. They come in, taking photos inside the store, and then coupled that with their e-commerce piece, so that you can click on the table, and that will send you via a hyperlink to their e-commerce side that gives you the price and the ability to order it. And that's kind of where all of this marries with matter tags. That's the ability to take an object and tag it, whether it's on a construction site, or whether it's in a retail store, or whether you're just identifying something in an area, extra space. If you're in a facilities management position, for commercial real estate, let's say, for example, or in an industrial situation. So you can do all those things. Naturally, this will also work with your virtual reality stuff. So you can do, put the goggles on, do immersive walkthroughs through different areas, or training. And lastly, Matterport also provides an API to tie in with other pieces of software. Like, for example, that e-commerce thing we just talked about. Or they also have an SDK that will enable you to go into software you may have developed, and work together with that. But like I said, we're mostly working with in construction. Capturing as-built is the biggest. As-builts are the biggest things. One of the other accessories that has just been introduced is a scan to BIM um, piece that they're making available. So a lot of people in the laser scanning world, they want to get that file and bring it into Revit and create a model out of it. Well, if you're doing that as a service, that means that you have to have an Autodesk license. You have to have somebody that knows how to do Autodesk. You have to know somebody that knows how to do BIM work. What Matterport's doing is you upload the files. They'll send you back a BIM 200 file that can go into Revit, and that just makes it really simple. You just put your markup on top of it, and you invoice it out. It's really easy at that point. So Matterport's one that look for it. Look for Synnex or TD Synnex to be offering that sometime within the next month. And if you have any questions about that, once again, please give me a call. Be happy to help you with it. Moving on. This is the last new product that we're going to talk about. And for those of you in the print industry, this is really something that's really kind of interesting. I've always been the proponent, because part of my job is to look for other sources of new money for folks in the print business. And digital signage has always been a big one. Well, this is a different type of digital signage. It's an external LED, much like the billboards you see, the video billboards on the side of the road, except these are really designed for individual businesses. They're smaller. They come in 3 different viewing distance type resolutions, if you will, or pitch size to make it look, more graphics or finer resolution would be, I guess, the best way to put it. Target markets: gas stations, retail stores, education, houses of worship. And in the last time I talked to somebody about this, this particular reseller pointed out that it seems like every church that she sees is putting up some sort of a video or a video sign out in front that invites parishioners or the congregation in. So as I said, there's multiple sizes for viewing distance. Just depends on how much quality you want. The higher the quality, the more money it is. It's all rated to withstand cold, heat, sunlight, darkness, obviously, but rain, snow, sleet. It's fine for all those environments. They're tiled modules. I think they're 18 by 18, and they snap together. Each one has their own individual power, so you can lose power in one and still operate. Basically, you can use Samsung's cloud-based content manager and get started all on your own without investing in any other type of software. But it does solve pain points for customers. You can customize the ads at any time for any season. We're moving from Halloween to Thanksgiving to Christmas very quickly here. You can combine those with paper signs to make those, or printed signs to make those, make those pop even more, and be something that catches folks' eye. Changing the content is easy. It just becomes a resource on your network. So you're just sending graphic images down. And the really nice part, Samsung provides the installation and tech support. They may not provide it directly. They have a series of partners all around the country. They know that you're not going to bring a crane in to hang a sign at the top of a pole, or that you're going to do the masonry work that surrounds a brick sign. And so, what they're looking for is folks that can bring them the opportunities, and they will work to help you close that opportunity. They have been more helpful in this product than any other time that in the last 10 years that's saying a lot, that I've ever seen from Samsung. Normally they say, here's a display, thank you very much. These guys are really involved and obviously want to make it a success. Here's a couple of examples of the styles. Obviously, something that's built as a monument. It can be one-sided or two-sided. You know, you just have to get power to it. And if you're bringing power to it, you can set it up as a wireless, you know, a wireless resource on your network, or you can wire it out because you're bringing power. And since you're bringing the power out through the conduit, you can have the network cable there as well. Elevated signs, they can be dual-sided or single-sided as well. The first one that we talked about was a 30-foot high sign for an ATV dealer up in Minneapolis. You know, that one is approximately $50,000. Or wall-mounted signs. The one that have been working on with a reseller up in Wisconsin was an existing sign as an existing monument sign inside of a brick monument, but the sign was static. We're taking out the sign, putting in the video sign. There's a little bit of work trimming the masonry work and then bringing power. But that whole deal will come in at about $20,000. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of folks that want to help. A lot of technology out there, and this is just some of the stuff that's come to my attention in the last 90 days that have really sparked. One thing I might add about Samsung, their collaterals. They have a battle card that helps you sell. They've got specific collaterals for education, houses of worship, retail establishments, those kind of things. So the support materials are great as well. In any case, that's what I have for you today. I want to thank you so much for your time and attention. Really enjoy it. And if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer that. Or please reach out to me either by phone or email and let me know, and I'm happy to help. And
Great.
that's
Thank
what
you.
I have for you.
Right. Thank you very much, Keith. I really appreciate that presentation. Lots of great ideas in there for how our members can make some more money, especially that LED signage at the end. That to me is a money maker waiting to happen.
Really popular.
Well, I'm sure.
One of the other things I need to mention about that, if you have an interest in that, and I forgot to say this, Samsung has like a suitcase. They send one of the panels out, and it becomes your demo. I mean, you don't have to pay for it or anything. They'll send it out. You can show it. They'll help you set it up, and then just ship it back.
That's great. Super easy. Good. Well, thank you very much, Keith. Thank you, attendees and other panelists. This is the end of our full day of trade show. I hope you learned a lot. And remember that all of these videos have been recorded and will be posted on the APDSP site shortly. So with that, we are done for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ed.